Hi, this is Tim. I'm coming to you today to talk about the month of March and what we should be doing as Christians to get ready for the month of March and also from there on out. The reason I'm bringing forth this video today is because I think that there are some serious situations going to occur in the month of March. I'm no prophet. I don't believe in uh, uh, any prophecy outside of the Bible and what has been already prophesied about. I'm just putting together the common situations that are occurring right now, the escalation in stories as they're increasing rapidly per day. And also, I'm looking at the numbers, sequences, and patterns that the Illuminati, the occult organizations often use to foreshadow that, put their little stamp on their events. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. Basically, if you get a little notepad at the end of this, we'll just give you a couple references so you do your own research on this. Um, so in March, March is traditionally the month where in the military world, in the old world, you would start your spring offensives. You would start your war. So March is named after the god of war in Roman mythology. The significant day in March is the Ides of March, which a lot of people learned in school. That's the 15th day of March. Ides just means the halfway point, so the halfway point of a month is the halfway point, so March is the 15th. The 15th of March is dedicated to the festival to the god Mars. So they used to celebrate Mars on the 15th. Other things in history that happened in March is Julius Caesar was assassinated in the month of March on the Ides of March. What's significant is there's two things about his assassination, as you can see, that are of interesting numbers. They like to put these numbers on the internet and Wikipedia and other places like that, so you always pay attention to the numbers. So they listed his assassination as 44 BCE. Now, who else can you think of who is related to the number 44? Well, we have a president named Barack Obama, who is the 44th president of the United States, but you can just say that's a coincidence. Julius Caesar was, then they listed, stabbed 23 times. Well, that's another interesting number, because there are 23 pairs of chromosomes in the human DNA. So that's another number that sticks out. The Ides of March, the halfway point, the 15th, the way they write this in Wikipedia is they write, the sea succumbs to chaos, another one of the favorite Illuminati terms. Order ab Chaos is a Freemason term. You'll see it above their logos. Chaos, meaning has two meanings. Chaos, the way that you think of it, is a chaotic, crazy situation. And chaos also means the pit, so the sea succumbs to the pit. And the full moon brings high tides. That's what happens on the Ides of March, they say. The full moon for this month is 3/27, just so that you file that in your back of your mind. Other interesting dates in March are 3/19. The Libyan War was started on 3/19. You say, so what? There's lots of things that happen in history that can just happen on certain days. What's interesting is that the 3/19 date is the NATO involvement in the beginning of the NATO involvement in the Libyan War, where they fired 114 Tomahawk missiles, and they attacked with B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. Why is 3/19 significant related to this Libyan attack? Why? Here we have NATO, and we have that involved in 3/19. We find that 3/19 is also the goddess of war is born on 3/19. Now, the Illuminati love to go back and forth between their gods and goddesses related to different things. So the name of the goddess of war in Roman tradition is Minerva or Athena. And she's born on 3/19. This is the fun one that you don't usually catch. The other name for Minerva can also be Lilith. Now, Lilith is an interesting name. That is the Jewish tradition says that that was Adam's first wife. She left Adam because saw that she was Adam's equal. She's the poster child for the occult, as far as the old hag who used to steal children in the middle of the night. Makes you think of Harry Potter. Lilith is also symbolized with the owl. That's why I said Harry Potter. So you have the owl symbolism with Lilith. The kids love the owls. Guardian of Ga'Hoole, Harry Potter. It's got the kids mesmerized. They learn all about the witchcraft and everything. So Lilith steals the kids away in that kind of way. Okay. Let's see. Other things related to Lilith. Lilith being the owl. The other things associated with the owl is, of course, the Bohemian Grove festival, where you have the world leaders get together to do their, weirdness. Where basically the people, when they bring them into this environment, are becoming under the spells of the spirits that are being prayed and basically attached to these world leaders, whether they know it or not. There's a lot of demonic activity there. A lot of people say that the owl represents Moloch. That's, of course, the child sacrifice in the Bible was to Moloch. But that owl symbolizes Lilith also. Where else that owl shows up is if you do a search on the internet for Capitol Hill and owl pictures, you'll see an overview of Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And what you'll find out is that the owl is, there's an overlay of an owl with Capitol Hill right in the middle. So they're showing you who runs Washington, D.C. Minerva, or Lilith, was worshipped on Capitoline Hill. Now, where's Capitoline Hill? Capitoline Hill is one of the 7 hills in Rome. So they're telling you who runs Capitol Hill. With the owl, we got Capitoline Hill in Rome. So we got the Vatican involved with running the United States. We got the Illuminati involved with the owl symbolism. So other things with Lilith, the owl. Lilith is Lucifer's mate, if you didn't know that one. So we have parallels. We got Adam and Eve, we got Christ in the church, and we got Lilith and Lucifer. So here we got the light bearer, Lucifer the light bearer. Wherever you see them holding a torch, that's the light bearer. He brings light and illumination to the human mind, Perseus, all that other garbage. And you got Lilith being the female counterpart of that. So that's fun. So we got 319 being dedicated, of course, that's to Lilith. We got 322 coming up. 322, a lot of people are picking up on this one, is the Skull and Bones name. That's where you have the Bushes, George Sr., George Jr., John Kerry, all Skull and Bones members. Skull and Bones are just the elite of the Illuminati in the United States. They stationed in Yale University. That's what the 322 chapter is. You're basically, it's a hereditary type of organization of these inbreds that are what they call the elites. I call them inbreds because they're just they breed within their own ranks. So you got 322 coming up this month. What people are putting together that's interesting related to 322. It is 3 months after the Mayan date, right? Almost exactly 1221 or 22 and 322. The other thing that they're really picking up on that makes people's bells goes off is that 322, in 1980 on 322, the Georgia Guidestones was erected. The Georgia Guidestones is basically an Illuminati monument saying that, 500 million people are going to be left on the earth to serve us. We're going to kill the rest of you. So on 322 this year, 2013, it'll be 33 years since that's been erected. And so 33 is significant. That's a Freemason number, of course. 33 being Jesus' age when he died. Let's see. The other things that people are picking up on. Right now we have a lot of stuff going on with Obama and also with Rome. Rome is doing their search for the new pope. The Malachi prophecy, which I don't believe in. I believe there's false prophecies. I think the Malachi prophecy will just benefit the Catholic Church to the ignorant people who will just say these guys must know something. The Peter the Roman, Petros Romanos prophecy is this last pope. One of the interesting point about that is that the people are passing around an anagram of Tarcisio Pietro Evasio Bertone. How's that for Italian? This is one of the guys that's like the understudy for the Pope right now that just left. He's like the second in command. Basically, when a Pope resigns, this guy supposedly is in charge already with another person as a kind of interim in charge of the Vatican until somebody's decided on to be Pope. What's interesting is when people do anagrams, they just, they move the letters around and see what they spell. Tarcisio is this guy's name. Tarcisio, when you do an anagram to it, comes out Iscariot, and we all know who Judas Iscariot, the traitor, was. Pietro is Peter. Evasio is evasive, and Bertone, they say that Bert is the elevated one. Bertone is like elevated one. So you have the evasive Iscariot, Peter the evasive, the elevated one. So you got some really weird things going on with these Catholic priests. Of course, everybody at cardinal level, I believe these days, is almost like 100% Freemason through and through. If you want to see some interesting pictures, if you want to see my favorite, I call him Zombie Pope. Zombie Pope is the John Paul II. They have a webcam set up on his tomb. It's the only Pope I know that has a webcam set up to see if he turns over. So I call him Zombie Pope because either they must know something I don't. He's buried in a Freemason coffin that's a trapezoid coffin, which forms an inverted pentagram. He's got skull and bones on the coffin. He has a modified cross, which is the Freemason symbol there of the square and the compass. So they have their square in there. So you got Freemasonry all over the place, Lucifer worship, Satan worship, all throughout the Vatican. And here we got, massive coverage by Fox Jesuit News Network, having like 24-hour cycles of just Pope worship right now. Who's going to be this next Pope? And if you watch Fox News, I rag on them because Knights of Malta Murdoch owns the place. Bill O'Reilly, Jesuit Plant, is their top guy, and altar boy Sean Hannity is another one of their top little mouthpieces. Am I being mean to the Catholic Church? I'm being mean to the political aspects of the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, for some reason, under papal rule, thinks that they own the world. They have a right to rule the world. The Pope has rights over everybody. All Protestants are under papal rule, even if they don't know it. So they think that they're, they do represent a god. It's just the false god, Lucifer. So for those Catholics out there, don't mean to hurt your feelings. I know deception's just part of the routine. As long as you accept Christ and worship Christ and as your Savior, get away from the Mary worship, get away from the idol worship, just get out of that system, because these guys are setting themselves to run the one world religion. And that's what this next Pope is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a younger, more vital Pope who betrays everybody and sells us out to the New World Order. So that's what's going on with the Catholic system there. Obama's off to Israel. I believe he's scheduled to be there basically a week before Passover. They're going to fudge the numbers around. They got pictures of him on the donkey, of course, from the 2008 Democratic thing. He's going to be there a week before this, the Passover, which is almost identical to when Jesus entered in before he was crucified. Other things going on with he's going to basically want to do some kind of peace deal where he divides Jerusalem between Palestinian and Jewish control. and that will, of course, violate the Abrahamic covenant. It would also bring down the damnation of the violating Scripture from our president, which of course will be the United States. When your leaders violate God's Scripture and they violate God's law, there's a retribution that comes down on the nation that these leaders represent. So when we have bad leadership, as you'll see throughout the whole Old Testament, anytime there's a bad king, bad things happen. Good kings, good things happen. We have a very bad king right now. It's all deception, and whatever happens, Barack Obama, whatever you want to call him, test tube Obama, bury the imposed, the usurper, whatever you want to, wherever he came from, he's a Rothschild plant of some form. I don't know where they came from. Nobody knows where this guy comes from. So he'll be there for whatever this peace thing is. The Israeli government's going to give him a prize for being a great buddy to Israel. Now, of course, this guy won the Nobel Peace Prize for nothing, and now he's winning another prize from the Israeli government for nothing. It's the only guy I know that can ever get promoted to the top slot by doing absolutely nothing. What else are they doing? Oh, yes, there's a nice ice sculpture, if you want to look that up. There's a Obama ice sculpture that they're erecting in the ice city in Jerusalem of Obama, and they call it Obama's image. Now you could say there's an Obama ice sculpture or something like that, but they like to use words like the image, like as in the image of the beast and things like that. So that's pretty much, I think I'm summing up where we are right now. We got a lot of bad stuff going on with these 33s, these 322s, 319s, 44th president, popes. They're basically the new world orders here, and they're gonna crash the dollar, which is gonna crash everything. The resources you should check out is there's a Jesse Ventura episode called The Ozark Conspiracy Theory. Watch that whole one if you want to see an Illuminati city underground in the Ozarks. That one definitely will show you that. If you want to see the owl pictures of Lilith, just put in Lilith owl pictures and Capitol Hill or Capitol Hill owl. You'll see plenty of images of the owl imposed over Capitol Hill. Tarcisio Pietro Evasio Bertone, you can put that name in and put anagram and go around and look at that. Even if there's nothing to that, it's like, why does this guy have Iscariot in his name? Anything else going on? Okay, Netanyahu's a Freemason, just so you know that ahead of time. Almost all these leaders of these states are Freemasons. Basically, we have a New World Order system being set up. We have a betrayal of the United States by I call it the Catholic Trojan horse. I know the Catholics won't like that, but the Roman Catholic Church political system. John Roberts, the Supreme Court Justice, is Knights of Malta, sold us out on the Obamacare. Let's see, Scalia is a Catholic, Thomas is a Catholic, Boehner's a Catholic, Pelosi's a Catholic, O'Reilly, Hannity, Murdoch. I'm just trying to show you that there's lots of Catholics in all these power positions. You also have the communist Jews in the Supreme Court set up, and that's not a knock against Jews, because the way I look at the Jewish population, you got the Rothschild Jews, which are the Satanists, the Kabbalists, like Madonna likes to be a Kabbalist. So you got the Satanic Jews, and then you got the remnant Jews. And God knows the remnant Jews, and that's what the Bible deals with, saving the remnant Jews. So that's it for this bit, but this gives you a lot to chew on. The Georgia Guidestones and the 33 years after being erected this month on the 22nd is a big deal. Because that's the 322 Skull and Bones. That's John Kerry's a Skull and Bones, and he's running around cutting deals right now. So that's what's going on. Just take a look at it. They're trying to bring in chaos. That's why they're doing every kind of crazy story that you can see on the news. they're just going to post crazier and crazier stories. So that's enough for this time. Hopefully we get to talk again.